Okay, so let's zoom in on what crisis woke is using to distribute itself and to promote itself. One of the most prominent crises that woke has focused on, it's not even a crisis in my opinion, the gender equality crisis. So if you follow this topic, you know that according to woke culture and a lot of governments nowadays, you're not allowed to define what a man and a woman is because of the gender fluidity. And also you have to accept that there are, I don't know if it's 20 or 30 or 40 different genders or gender identities, I think it's called, that you have to accept that they exist because otherwise you are not acknowledging their equality. Okay? So that's gender equality. Okay, I think the original idea of gender equality is really good. Why not, right? It makes society better. So that's one crisis that they are trying to benefit from. And when I say benefit, there's a huge amount of money involved. We can just quickly touch on that. Each person that they can convert into a sex change operation will be a lifelong customer and will, on average, generate about $1 million in revenue to the healthcare system that is supposed to guide them through all these procedures. Okay, so there's a lot of money involved and also a lot of political power involved, which we will probably touch on later again. As you probably know, there's a lot of talk about the climate crisis, or they've even changed the name to climate emergency. And there's a lot of money involved in that too, from all the carbon taxes and also something called ESG scores. That's a rating that each big corporation can be assigned. And there's also a lot of hypocrisy in that. We'll talk about that later. Now, here's a little quiz you can do with your friends. So you can screenshot this picture and then you can post it on your social media. And then you can see the question is, how did the ice age occur before the industrial age? And why did the ice start melting all by itself? And the obvious answer is that climate change happens all by itself naturally. And even if we do affect the climate a little bit, it has already been changing a lot more in the past than it has in the last 200 years. And scientists already know this from the ice core samples from Greenland. And here's a graph where you can see the temperature, how it has been fluctuating over the last hundreds of millions of years. And then if you look at the red line towards where we are now at 2024, you can see that the temperature is low if comparing it to the previous hundreds of millions of years. And here you can also see there are several other studies that show exactly the same if you search on Google. The next crisis is war support. So at the time of recording this video, there are some wars going on. And according to woke culture, you're supposed to support the funding of a certain war at this time in history. Okay? You're not supposed to fund peace. You're not supposed to say, hey, we'll give these people this much money for this person and this person if they just sign a peace agreement. That has never been mentioned by woke culture or the mainstream media, of which most is woke. They didn't talk about this. So this is also hypocrisy, by the way. But war support is another area of woke culture. Then there's health product support. I call it this, you will know what I mean when I say that this was really initiated around 2020 when there was a global health crisis where suddenly, through very crafty media work, you had to support taking health products that were not even checked for a safety profile, because you cannot check the 10-year safety profile of a new product except if you wait for 10 years and test it on people for 10 years and see what happens after that. You cannot use a time machine to gain the safety profile of a new product as of now.